Example 3 is given by E. You are given A, B, C. This is B. This is H1. This is B1. ABCD is a triangle, and if BH, let's say this H, if BH is reduced by 75% and AC is increased by 15%, by what percent do area changed? Solution. The first thing we have already talked, if a number X is increased by R%, it means A final is equals to X plus R over 100 of X. We already talked about that. If a number X is increased by R%, it becomes X plus R over 100 times X, for example. And if a number X is decreased or reduced by R%, it means our A final will be X minus R over 100 times X. And in our case we are given if BH is reduced by, that means BH is equals to our BH2 is equals to our original value minus our R value 75 over 100 of BH. Let's say this 1, let's say this 1, 1. Therefore BH2 will be BH1 minus 75 over 100. This is equals to BH1 minus 0.75 times BH1. When we take BH1 common, BH1, when this number divided by this, 1 will be left. When this number divided by this, minus 0.75 will be left. This is equals to 0.25 times BH1. And AC2 and AC is increased by 50%. That means percent increase, when percent increase is equals to AC2 is equals to AC plus our percent is 15 over 100 of AC, because if a number is increased by R, this is a formula. In our case, this is BH, this is AC, this is AC, and R is 50%. This is equivalent to AC plus 0.5 AC. When we take AC as a common, therefore when AC divided by AC, 1 will be left. When this number divided by this, 0.5 will be left. This is equals to 1.5 times AC. And we know that area of a triangle is given by area of triangle 1. Area of triangle 1 is given by 1 over 2 times BH1 times AC, because area of triangle is given by 1 over 2 B times H. In our case, the value of B is AC and the value of H is BH. This is H, let's say capital H. And A2 is given by 1 over 2 times BH2 times AC2. This is equivalent to 1 over 2 times BH2 is, we already found 0.25 times BH1 times AC2 is given by, where is AC2? 1.5 times AC1. This can also be written as 0.25 times 1.5 times 1 over 2 BH1 times AC1. We know that 1 over 2 times BH1 times AC1, from this 1 over 2 BH1 times AC1 is equals to A1. Therefore A2 is equals to 0.25 times 1.5 times A1. This is A2 is equals to, this will be 0.375 times A1. So we have to compare A1 with 0.375 times A1. Therefore this is our initial value AO, this is our final value AF. Therefore In our case, AO is greater than AF because 1 is greater than 0.375. There will be what? A percent decrease. We know we have a formula of AO minus AF over AO times 100%. Our AO value is 1 minus 0.375 over 1 times 100%. This is equals to 62.5. 0.625 times 100%. This is equals to 62.5%. And example 5 is given by Tsagu bought mango. Let's say MB mango that cost $2, and apple A is equal to apple that cost $3, and banana B is equals to banana that cost $4 each. And if Tsagu bought a total of 3 mango, he bought 3 mango, 6 apple, and 9 banana. So first we have to compute total cost Tsagu spent. This is given by total is equals to how many mango do Tsagu have bought? 3 mango, and each mango have $1 of what? $2 plus how many apple do Tsagu bought? 6, and each apple cost $1 of 3 plus each banana he bought 9 banana, and each banana cost $1 of 4. Therefore Tsagu have spent $1 of 6 plus $1 of 18 plus $1 of 36. This is equals to $1 of 24 plus $1 of 36. This is equals to $1 of 60. This is a total amount of, and we are given if a 15% sales tax was added to the entire pool. We know that if a number X is increased by R%, then our A final will be X plus R over 100 of X. And in our case, if a 50% sales tax was added to final fruit, our total value Tsagu will spend will be $1 of 60, his initial, plus how many percent? 50%, 15 over 100 of $1 of 60. From property what? This. When if a number X is added by R%, our A final will be X plus R over 100. And the total amount Tsagu will spend on 3 mango, 6 apple, and 9 banana is $1 of 16 plus a 15% sale tax was added, means 15 over 100 of $1 of 60. This is equals to $1 of 16 plus 0.15 times $1 of 60. When we take $1 of 60 common, when this number divided by this, 1 will be left. When this number divided by this, 0.15 will be left. This will be equals to 1.15 times $1 of 60. This is equals to $1 of 69. Tsagu will spend. Example 1 is given by if 3x plus 5. Whenever you found is means equivalent to equals to. If 3x plus 5 is equals to 15, whenever you are given more than, it means positive, or plus more than 18, and we are asked to find 15 times x. Solution: 3x plus 5 is equals to 15. 3x is equals to 15 minus 5. Whenever we brought to the right, it becomes negative. Therefore 3x is equals to 45 over 3 over 3. X is equals to 15, but we are asked to find 15 times x, not x. Therefore 15 times 15 is equals to 225. Example 2 is given by if 1 kilometer is equals to 1000 meter and 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeter, then 5 centimeter is dash kilometer. Solution. We are given 1 kilometer is equals to 1000 meter and 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeter, and we can write this like this for 1 kilometer is equals to 1000 times 1 meter. It's possible to write this in terms of like this, and we know that 1 meter is equivalent to 1000 centimeters. Therefore 1 kilometer is equals to 1000 times 100 centimeter. This is equals to 1 kilometer is equals to 100,000 centimeter, and we are asked to find 5 centimeter. 5 centimeter, how many kilometer? X, let's say it X. Therefore 5 centimeter times 1 kilometer, or 5 centimeter times 1 kilometer is equals to 100,000 times 100,000 centimeter times X. To find X, divide by 100,000 centimeter by 100,000 centimeter. This will be cancelled and centimeter will be cancelled by centimeter. Therefore X is equals to 5 kilometer divided by 1000. This is equals to 5 kilometer over 10 raised to how many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. And also this can also be written as 5 kilometer times 1 over 10 raised to 5, and 1 also can be written as 10 raised to 0. Therefore 5 kilometer times 10 raised to 0 over 10 raised to 5, and we know that a raised to x over a raised to y is equals to a raised to x minus y. Therefore 5 kilometer times 10 raised to 0 minus 5. This is equals to 5 kilometer times 10 raised to minus 5, or 5 times 10 raised to minus 5 kilometer. Example 3 is given by if x is x, whenever we are given is, it means equals to 13 more than y, and if 2x and means plus 5y, whenever we are given is, it is equals to 60, and we are asked what is the value of x. Whenever we are asked to find x, we have to eliminate any number or any variable other than x. In our case, what is the variable that is other than x? Y. So we have to eliminate y. Therefore y is equals to x minus 30. Inserting y on the second equation, 2x plus 5 times x minus 13 is equals to 16. This is equals to 2x plus 5x minus 115 is equals to 16. Therefore 7x minus 115 is equals to 16. 7x is equals to 210 divided by 7 divided by 7. Therefore x is equals to 13. And example 4 is given as a rectangle was altered by increasing its length. Length was increased by 25%, and the width decreased by 10%. And by what percent do the area change? Percent area change. Let's say this W1, this L1 be the first area, and area of a triangle, area of rectangle is given by a rectangular L1 times W1. And we already talked that if a number x is increased by r%, it is equivalent to x final is x plus r over 100 of x. And in our case, the length is increased by 25%. That means L2 is equals to L1 plus 25 over 100 of L1. This is equals to L1 plus 0.25 times L1. When we take L1 as a common, L1 divided by L1, 1 will be left. This number divided by this, 0.25 will be left. This is equals to 1.25 times L1. And if a number x is decreased by r%, then x final will be what? X minus r over 100 of x. Therefore, in our case, w is decreased. Therefore, w2 is equals to w1 minus 10 over 100 of w1. Therefore, w2 is equals to w1 minus 0.1 times w1. When we take w1 as a common, when this number divided by this, 1 will be left. When this divided by this, minus 0.1 will be left. This is equals to 0.9 times w1. This is w2. And area 2 is given by area w2 times l2. w2 is given by 0.9 times w1, and l2 is given by, we already found l2. l2 is 1.25 l1 times 1.25 L1. This can also be written as 0.9 times 1.25 W1 L1. This is equivalent to what? A1. Therefore, A2 is equals to 0.9 times 1.25 A1. Therefore, it is equivalent to 1.25 times A1. And our initial value, or our AO, was assumed was A1. And after it was increased its length and decreased its width, it became A2. A2 is our A final value, and A2 is equals to 1.125 times A1. From this we know, we can see that A final is greater than AO, because 1.125 is greater than 1. Therefore, there will be a percent increase. Percent increase is given by A final minus AO over AO times 100%. Our A final value is 1.125 minus 1 over 1 times 100%. This is equals to 0.125 times 100. This is equals to 12.5%. This is the percent increased. And example 5 is given. A rectangle was altered by increasing its length. L was increased by C%, and by decreasing by 20%. By decreasing, and width is decreased by 20%. If the alteration increased, A2 increased by 10%, then what is the value of C? We are asked to find C. Solution. The first thing is, let the diagram be the initial area. Our initial area was, this is length 1, this is W1, this is our initial area 1, length 1 times W1. And we are given that A2 is, what is say? And if the alteration increased by 10%, that means A2 was increased by, and we know that if a number x is increased by r%, A final will be what? AO plus AO r over 100 times AO. In our case, our initial value was A1. Therefore, A2 will be A1 plus, by what percent? 10 over 100 of A1. This is equals to, A2 is equals to A1 plus 0.1 times A1. Therefore, when we take A1 as a common, A1 divided by A1, 1 will be left. Doing 0.1 times A1 divided by A1, 0.1 will be left. This is equals to 1.1 A1. Therefore, A2 is given by L2 times W2. And we already given its length was increased by L2 is equals to L1 plus C times L1. C over 100 of L1. This is equals to L1 C plus, let's say this C percent. We already know C percent means C over 100 of L1. So when we take a common L1, 1 plus 0.0 C times what? 0. This is equivalent to 1.0 C times L1. But the question says that we are already given by C percent. We are already given that it was over 100% 8, nothing to write over 100, because our given equation already talked about it was a percent, so we'll neglect this 100 because it was already mentioned, and it will be L1 plus C times L1. But if it do not mention percent, we will write over 100. But in our case, it already mentioned what does mean percent, and so it is redundant to write C over 100. So we will eliminate 100. This is equals to L1 common. When L1 divided by L1, 1 will be left. When C L1 divided by L1, C will be left. Therefore, L2 is L1 times 1 plus C1. And W2 is decreased by W2. That means W2 is equals to W1 minus R percent is 20 over 100 of W1. This is equals to W1 common minus 0.2 times W1. When we take W1 common, W1 1 minus 0.2. This is equals to 0.8 times W1. And A2 is equals to W2 times L2. And L2 is L1 1 plus C times W2 is 0.8 times W1. Therefore, A2 is equals to 1 plus C times 0.8 L1 C1. And we already know A2 from the first equation. A2 is equals to 1.1 times A1. 1.1 times A1 is equal to 1 plus C times 0.8 times L1 times C1. L1 times W1 is equals to what? A1. So you can eliminate A1 by A1. Therefore, 1.1 is equals to 0.8 times 1 plus C will be left. When we divide by 0.8, when we divide 0.8, 1 plus C is equals to, it will be 1.375. So to find C is equals to 1.375 minus 1. When we brought 1 to the right, therefore C is equals to 0.375. And we know something. To change from decimal to percent, multiply by 100. For example, if you are given 0.21, in order to change this decimal to percent, we have to multiply by 100%. Therefore, this is equal to 21%. 0.3, if the decimal 0.3 is given and you are asked to find the percent, you have to multiply by 100%, 13%. And if you are given a 13%, in order to change this to decimal, you have to multiply by 100. When we divide by 100, it becomes 0.3. And in our case, it was 0.37. To change this decimal into percent, we have to multiply by 100. This is equals to 37.5%. Example 4 is given by a car travel at a speed of given a speed v of 3.6 meter per second in a straight line. Let from A to B the distance or the straight line. And if 1 ohm is equals to 20 meter, then what will be the ratio of ohm over hour? Solution. We are given the ratio V is equals to 3.6 meter over 1 second, and we are given 1 ohm is equals to 20 meter. This can also be written as 1 ohm is equals to 20 times 1 meter. To find 1 meter, we have to divide by 20 by 20. Therefore 1 meter is equals to 1 ohm over 20, and V is equals to 3 point. Also 1 hour is equals to what? 16 minutes, and 1 minute is equals to what? 16 seconds. Therefore 1 hour also can be expressed as 16 times 1 minute, and we know 1 minute is equals to 16 seconds. So insert this in this. 1 hour is equals to 16 times 16 seconds. This is equals to 3600 seconds. And we are given, we are required to find ohm over 1 hour. Therefore V is given 3.6 meter over 1 second, and this also can be written as 1 hour is equals to 3600 times 1 second. To find 1 second, we have to multiply by divide by 3600 over 3600. Therefore this will be cancelled, and 1 second is equals to 1 hour over 3600, and V 3.6 meter over 1 second also can be written as 3.6 times 1 meter over 1 times 1 second, and we know 1 second is equivalent to 1 hour over 3.60, and 1 meter we already found. 1 meter is this, and 1 second. So V is given by 3.6 times over 1 times, we know 1 meter is equals to 1 ohm. 1 ohm over 20 over 1 second is equivalent to 1 hour, equivalent to 1 hour over 3600. This is equals to 3.6 ohm over 20 over 1 hour over 6600. And whenever you are given A over B over C over D, this is equivalent to A over B times D over C. From this property, this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. Therefore A is 3.6 rho ohm over 20 times the value of D is 3600 over the value of C is 1 hour. Therefore when you divide this, it becomes 648 rho over per hour. And we are asked to find what will be the rate. The rate means we are asked to find the velocity in terms of rho per hour, and we get speed or a rate in terms of rho per hour. It is equal to 648. Okay, example 3 says that if a car travel at a speed of V is given 5 kilometer, no, its distance is given 5 kilometer in time 12 minutes, and it was a car traveling from home let's say A, let's say B, let's say A is home, and let's say B is work. So the total distance from home to work is 5 kilometers, and he travel at 12 minutes. And from work to home, from work to home is the same as 5 kilometers, and it was traveling at a time of 14 minutes. Therefore, from A to B, distance is given S1 5 kilometers, and T1 is given 12 minutes. And from B, or from work to home, is distance 2 is given 5 kilometers, and T2 is given as 14 minutes. And we are asked to calculate what is the average speed of a car in kilometer per hour. Required is V average in kilometer per hour. Solution: V average is equals to S1 plus S2 over T1 plus T2, and T1 is 12 minutes. This also, we have to change this into hour. To change from minute to hour, we know that 1 hour is equals to 16 minutes. This also can be written as 1 hour is equals to 16 times 1 minute over 16 over 16. Therefore, 1 minute is equals to 1 hour over 16. And we know that T1 is given as 12 minutes, and 1 minute is equals to 1 hour over 16. Therefore, T1 also can be written as 12 times 1 minute. This is equivalent to 12 times 1 hour over 16. This is equals to 12 over 16 hour. This is T1. And the T2 is given 14 minutes. Therefore, 14 minutes can also be written as T2 is equals to 14 times 1 minute. And we are already knows that 1 minute is equals to 1 hour. 14 times 1 hour over 16. This is equals to 1/4 over 16. 16 hour. Therefore, V average, the total S1 was 5 kilometers plus S2 was 5 kilometers over T1 was 12 over 16 hour plus T2 was 14 over 16 hour. Therefore, this is equivalent to 10 kilometers over common 60. 16 divided by 60, 1 times 12, 12 plus 16 times 60 divided by 16, 1 times 40 is 14, the whole hour. Therefore, this is equivalent to 10 times 16. This will be reciprocal over 26 kilometers per hour. This is equivalent to, therefore, V average will be 600 divided by 26 kilometers per hour. Therefore, this is our last answer. Example 1 says that the speed of a car depends on the time t. Therefore, V final is equals to 10 plus 3 times of t. It depends on the formula above show the relationship between V final and the t. As we can see from this equation, it shows the relationship between V final times t. We already talked about linear equation where degree highest coefficient degree was 1 in our term. In terms of, it was expressed in terms of t, so t raised to 1 the highest degree. And we are asked to find what is the expression of t in terms of speed. We are are asked to determine t expressed in terms of v final. Therefore, v final is equals to 10 plus 3 times t. When we brought negative 10 to the left, 3t is equals to v final minus 10. Therefore, over 3 over 3. Therefore, t is equals to v final minus 10 over 3. Or t is equals to v final over 3 minus 10 over 3. So we have two expressions, either this or this. And B asked us at what time did the speed of the car become v final. It was given v final 14 meter per second. Therefore, to find t, the car reach 14 per, we have to insert in terms of v final. Therefore, 14 minus 10 over 3. Therefore, t is equals to what? 13 over 3 second. This is equals to 10 seconds. So the car will reach a speed of 40 meter per second after 10 seconds. And example 1 it says that the sum of two number is 75. Let x be the first number and let y be the second number. And we are given the sum of the two number x plus y is equals to 76. And the difference between them, let's say x greater and y smaller. Therefore, x minus y, it was given 4 and x plus y is given 76. And we are required to find the two number. From the first equation we know x is equals to 4 minus 4 plus y. So inserting this on the second equation, 4 plus y is equals to 76. 2 times y is equals to 76 minus 4. Therefore, 2 times of y is equals to 72 over 2 over 2. The value of y is equals to what? 36. So to find x is equals to 4 plus y. Therefore, 4 plus 36 is equals to 40. In order to make check, 14 plus 36, do it give 76? Yes. And example 2 says that the area of a circle is given by, it was given the formula area is equal to pi r square. If the radius of the second, let's say r2 is means is equals to increased by 4 times of r1. And we are asked to find the ratio of the second a2 raised to a1. It was required to find this. And we know that a1 can be calculated as pr1 square and a2 is calculated as pi r2 square. And r2 is already given 4 times r1. Therefore, a2 is equals to pi times 4 times r1 the whole square. And we know that ab raised to x is equals to a raised to x times b raised to x. Therefore, a2 is equals to pi times 4 square times r1 square. This is equals to 16 pi r1 square is a2. And we are asked to find a2 over a1. a2 is given pi r1 square from this. Over a1 already solved. a1 pi r1 square. Pi r1 square. Therefore, this will be cancelled and the ratio of a2 over a1 will be 16. Example C states that the circumference of B is means is equals to 2 times of circumference of A. And we are asked to find area of A divided by area of B. Solution. We know that circumference of a circle is given by the equation 2 pi r. And circumference of A is given by 2 pi r of A. And circumference of B is given by 2 pi r of B. And we are given circumference of B is equals to circumference of A. Therefore, circumference of B is given by 2 pi r of B is equals to 2 pi r of A. From this. Therefore, over 2 pi over 2 2 pi. This will be cancelled, and radius of B is equals to 2 times of radius of A. We already found that radius of B is equal to 2 times of radius, and we are asked to find area of A over area of B. We know that area can be calculated for a circle pi r square. Therefore, area of A is equals to pi r of A the whole square, and area of B is given by pi r of B the whole square. Therefore, area of A is equals to pi r A square over area of B when we take a ratio pi r of B the whole square. Therefore, this will be cancelled, and area of A over area of B is equals to r A square over r of B is already found, 2 times r of A over 2 times of r of A the whole square. And we know that AB raised to x is equals to A raised to x times B raised to x. Therefore, 2RA the whole square is equals to 2 raised to 2 times RA the whole square. This is equal to 4 times of RA square. Therefore, area of A over area of B is equals to RA square over 4 times RA square. This will be cancelled, and area of A over area of B will be equals to 1 over 4. And now we are going to talk about consecutive number. There are 3 kind of consecutive number we are going to talk. The first one is consecutive integer, consecutive odd number, and consecutive even number. Whenever you are saying it was consecutive integer, it always begin from n plus 1, n plus 2 up to infinity. And whenever you are stated it was about consecutive odd number, it starts from 2n plus 1, 2n plus 3, 2n plus 5. This number will be always odd number. And whenever you are asked consecutive even number, it starts from 2n, 2n plus 2, 2n plus 4, 2n plus 6 up to infinity.